Hi, it's Jenny from Buggy Baby, and today we're taking a look at the Hauck Speedster. So this is a pedal go-kart suitable from 4 to 8 years old, and this is part of Hauck's really great toy range. If you haven't had a look at the range, do go onto their website, have a look on buggybaby.co.uk, and it's going to show you all the different Hauck toys available. There's a great range of bikes, of go-karts, of electric cars, of scooters, and Hauck also do a selection of dolls accessories. So they do prams and high chairs and things like that. Absolutely great, so do have a look. But today, as I said, we're looking at having a look at this Speedster. So we're going to get this out of the box, have a look and see if it needs any setting up, and then we'll have a look at everything that it does. So this go-kart retails at £129.90, and let's get this box open and have a look and see how it comes. Right, so I reckon we might need to do a bit of assembly work here. Yeah, definitely hear some rattling around, so I might need to have our screwdrivers ready. Okay, so this is how it comes, all wrapped in plastic. We can see here we've got all the different parts, steering wheel, frame, that looks like it's going to be the seat, and I'd assume we've probably got the wheels in these brown boxes. So I'm going to get all this out, lay it out, and then we can get it together. Okay, so you can see here I am surrounded by all of the parts to put this go-kart together. And here are the instructions. So it's telling us to start off with, we need to put on the front wheels. So for the front wheels, we need to have 2 washers and a nut bolt, and we need to have the 2 different sizes of washers that come with it. So we've got a slightly larger one and a smaller one. This is our nut bolt and obviously our wheel. So the wheel from the pictures on here needs to go round so that this is facing the front. So this is the back of the wheel, and we need to pop the larger washer on first and then screw the wheel on. So let's get that right way around. There we go, pop that in. Then we need the next washer, which is the smaller one, on. And then we've got our nut bolt, which will screw on, and included are, if I can find what I did with it, is a wrench. So you can use that to tighten this nut bolt, and that will keep the wheel in place. So there we go. First wheel on. That was easy enough. Okay, so we're going to spin this round. And we will pop our next wheel on. So again, get the nut bolt, get the 2 different size washers, so a large one and a small one. And then the large washer goes on. The wheel goes on. Remember, this is your front, this is your back. So that should slot down. On goes the small washer. On goes the nut bolt. And if I can find what I did with that wrench, there it is. We can get that tightened and in place. So now we're going to pop on these little covers to cover up the bolt, and they should pop in. You can see there's little slots that we just need to line up to get them in. There we go. Okay, next one. Pop this one in. Okay, so that is the front wheels done. And now let's have a look and see what it's telling us to do next. So we've done the front wheels. we need to get the back wheels on. So that'll be the same process. So what I'll do is I'll pop those wheels on and then I'll come back to you. So popping the back wheels on, we can see there's already like a washer shape on there. And on our instructions, it's telling us that we don't need to have the 2 washers at this point. We only need the small washer and the nut bolt. So I'm going to get those out ready. Okay, so the wheel goes on. We get the washer, we pop the nut bolt on and tighten that up. Moving everything around now, aren't we? Okay, and we can pop a cover on as well. There we go. And the final wheel, that again already has like a washer shape on it, so let's just check that we definitely don't need to put washer on that one. Nope, so we just need this small washer and nut bolt. Find the last wheel, there we are. On it goes. Screw that in place. And pop the cover on. Okay, all 4 wheels on. Okay, next part to go on is this funny shaped bit here. So this came with this slotted inside, this black bit. So I believe you need to take that out looking at the instructions, and we're going to have to screw this onto the frame. So I can see here this matches up, so we're going to pop that in, and then you can tell from that that the holes are going to align, allowing us to screw them into place. So according to the instructions, we would have the screws here, which I can see, and they've got a little nut bolt on the end of the screw. So we need to, oh, and a little washer, like a little tiny washer, if you can see that. Okay, put that somewhere safe. And we want to screw these into place overhead by the look of it. Okay, so pop that in. Then we need to put the washer on. Let me see if I can turn this over, see if that's a bit easier. Okay, so screws in place. I'm putting the washer back in place, and then I'm putting the nut bolt there. Okay, right, so using my screwdriver, I'm going to hold underneath the nut bolt to keep that in place, and then screw down. Okay. It's a little bit loose, but to be honest, that's probably more to do with my DIY skills than the actual product itself. But I'm going to go with this, because you get the general idea, and I'm sure most people are going to be better at DIY than me. Right, spin it round. Just double check all of these. I'm definitely doing that right. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is screw all of these down, and then I'll come back to you once that's done. Right, so that part of the frame is on, and next up on our instructions, we're going to put this part into place, and it's telling us that this should slot on here, and then there we go. Right, and then you push it in, there we go, and that's in place. Okay, so next up we have got this piece here, which I think is something to do with the steering wheel, and from looking at the instructions it looks like it slots through what will be the steering wheel column, so that would go through there. Okay, this makes some sense now. Okay, so that goes through there, and then this would attach to the steering wheel. So here is our steering wheel. Let me hold on to the bottom of that, maybe that will help keep that in place. Okay, so what I'm doing is just holding onto this bar at the bottom. I don't know if you can see just here, to keep that in place so that I can pop the steering wheel in. Yes, there we go. Okay, right, so steering wheel's on. And lastly, we need, oh no, before we do that, it's telling us we need to put that into place. So somewhere, here we go, there is another nut bolt. This is the last one, and it's telling us here that we need to use the nut bolt to secure that black bit in place, and it seems to be telling me that this will come off. Okay, I can see here. So this grey part here, if you can see, I hope I'm holding this right, there's two little bits here which we should be able to use to get this off. There we go. Okay, that's quite fiddly. Definitely easier using a screwdriver. Oh, there we go. Okay, so using your hand, I would push up that black bar that we've just put in from the bottom, and then you'll be able to get that nut bolt on. Let's use our wrench for that, and I'm going to keep pushing on here on the bottom of the black bar to keep it in place whilst I try to secure it. Looking good. Right, then we can put this silver part back on. There we go. Okay, one more part to go. So we now have to put the seat unit on. I can see we've got two screws with bolts on to do that. So let's work that out. Right. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think that the seat adjusts, so you can adjust it according to your child's size, so they can move it back and forth, I believe. So we'll have a look at that once we've got it all together. But we need to get this screwed on first. So to do that, we need to take apart these screws, because it's showing us on the instructions that the screw needs to go down, and then this part will go in the bottom, and then we've got some washers there as well. It's quite smaller diagrams, so you have to look quite carefully. So we've got a little tiny washer and a slightly bigger washer, and actually it will go on like this, but we need to unscrew it all first. There we go. Make sure we don't lose those washers because they're quite small. Let's unscrew the other one as well. Okay, there we go. Right, so looking at the instructions, it doesn't tell us what part we screw it into, so I'm just guessing here. Let's go for any of them. Push that down. There's the other one. And then we're going to put on the little teeny tiny washer. I'm going to turn this up, see if it makes it easier to show you. So the little tiny washer goes on. Then we've got the slightly larger washer on top of that. Ooh, drop that one. use this one. And then we've got this little screw part, which goes in, let's check which way I'm doing that. Yep, that's that way around. So it goes in this way round. Because it's not a screw top, so it is this part that we're going to have to screw in place. Right, so you've got to kind of really give it a good old twist to get that into place. There we go. And then we can do the final screw. Hooray! Around here. Let's pop it on its side again. Okay, so we need teeny tiny washer on. We need the other washer on, and then we need this little black part here, and remember we're putting it in this way round, so the smaller part is going on to the screw. And you'll be pleased to know that that is the end of assembling it, because I am pleased that we've got it done. Okay, there we go. There we have it all together. Actually, it was a little bit fiddly, the assembling, but it wasn't too bad. Really, that didn't take that long. We did it in real time, so it took, what, about 10 minutes, something like that. Something to bear in mind that it obviously does need setting up. So if you are giving this as a birthday present, a Christmas present, it might be worth setting this up first. And then obviously you're not going to be able to get it back in the box like that, but perhaps you could wrap it, put a ribbon around it. And if you are going to put it in the box, then obviously your child is going to have to be patient while you pop this together. It's not too difficult. The instructions aren't the clearest. That's mainly just because it's quite small, but it is quite easy to work it out. It's not going to take too long. Right, so you can see here, this is going to be really easy for your child to use. There is a brake here, which is really accessible to them when they're sitting on there. If you were to, the seat does move around, but if you're to move that around, it looks like you have to take these screws out and then re-screw it onto the setting that you want. So there's 3 different settings on there. So one is slightly more forward, the middle one, which we've got it on, and then it moves further back as well. So when your child's legs are a little bit longer. So obviously this is going to adapt with them whilst they grow, which is great. Pedals are really easy to push. I just had a little go on it on myself, so I know that. And the tyres are EVA tyres, so there'll be no maintenance to them, no punctures, nothing like that. But they are going to go really nicely on really whatever surface you're on. Obviously, when they're on grass, they're going to need to pedal a little bit harder, just because the terrain's uneven. If you're on a smooth surface, they're just going to whiz along on this. The steering column's really nice, no problems at all. It's going to be really easy for them to steer. So this is, as you can see, a really attractive go-kart, and it's a really nice build quality. You can feel that it's not flimsy or anything like that. You can feel it's going to really last well. All in all, another great toy from Hauck. I can't really sing their praises enough about their toys. They are really good quality and a really good price point as well for what you get. So this is just under £130 retail price. And in my opinion, it's well worth it. And I'm sure that your child would absolutely love this as a gift. So if you would like any more information at all, you can go on to buggybaby.co.uk. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. And thank you for watching.